We've heard the Christmas story from so many perspectives, but I want to take a moment tonight and just try to imagine this momentous event through the eyes of our Father. Jesus was with God in the beginning. In the beginning, the Word already existed. The Word was with God, and the Word was God. He existed in the beginning with God, so the Word became flesh and made his home among us. He was full of unfailing love and faithfulness. I love how it reiterates that Jesus was in the beginning with God. I really feel like it's a significant part of this story because Jesus wasn't the only one who experienced every part of human nature. When your kids leave you for that first time, or if you don't have any kids, when you left your parents for the first time, it was difficult, right? I mean, some kids make that terribly painful sound like Velcro ripping when they're torn from their parents' arms for the first time, sometimes even the second time. Can you imagine what it was like for God to send down his only Son into darkness, into the world that he created, with one purpose? Imagine God slowing all of time as he watched his Son descending into darkness. You would think there'd be a painful ripping sound. But there wasn't. It was a joyous occasion. Even though they knew the ending of the story, they were so happy. And the proof is in the pudding. In Luke 2:10, the angels are telling the shepherds, "Don't be afraid. I bring you good news that will bring great joy to all people." Jesus was our salvation in a time where there was none. He was our light in a time of darkness. He is our joy. He's our miracle.
Yes.
And in that moment, our Father was watching as his Son was born in a dirty stable and laid in a manger. Here's the cool part. Why did he do this? Why was he so joyful about it? Galatians 4:4-5 said, God sent forth his Son, born of a woman, born under the law, to redeem those who were under the law, so that we might receive adoption as sons and daughters. Let's put it in perspective. 13 years ago, we adopted Andy, my brother. I love him so much. At first, it was difficult for him to understand that he was a part of our family, that he was our family, that nothing and no one could take him from us.
Amen.
But he eventually gained understanding of this concept. Sometimes it takes a while for us to truly accept that we're adopted into sonship. But guess what? None of that time is wasted, because transformation is a process, and the process of becoming is a necessity. We must first die to ourselves in order to become who we really are. This is what Jesus came for and what he lived his life trying to teach us. We have this wonderful Father in heaven who gave his one and only Son to live in a world he created and change that world. He lived as a perfect example so that we might have a guideline to follow. When you're cooking or doing a do-it-yourself project, you follow the guidelines, right? Well, Jesus is our guideline. He brought light and life to all. He healed the sick. He fed the hungry. He gave freely, and he loved intensely. His love was so real that when Peter cut that soldier's ear off, he picked that thing up and he glued it right back on. He blessed the poor. He taught and discipled the lost. He forgave. He spoke life into everyone. He laid down his life. Greater love has no one than this, than to lay one's life down for his friends. He set a standard to follow. On the night Jesus was born, the world was given a new beginning. Our history became irrelevant, and our future became promising. God sent angels all over the place, including throughout time, to proclaim the birth of Jesus. Luke 2:14, glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace, goodwill toward men. In other translations, it says, and on earth peace to those whom his favor rests. God has given us favor. He's given us sonship, which means we have his authority on this earth. He has called us to be a light, to speak life, to rise above every circumstance and change the world around us. He has called us to be life changers and giant killers. And the best part about it is that he equips the called.
That's right. Praise God.
Nothing is done by our own strength, but it's done by his. And with his strength, we can do anything. So the question is, what are you doing? Me, myself, I make a list so I can remember what I need to work on, what I need to add to my list, because there's always more to add. We went to the homeless on Sunday, and it was amazing. It was amazing. Even, the really scary people, that didn't matter because we got to spread the love of Jesus to them. We found a family, and we touched their life today. It's an ongoing thing. We found a house for them. We found a place for them to stay.
Praise God.
And it's going to keep going. It's going to keep going because we're supposed to disciple the lost. We're supposed to teach them. We're supposed to show them the love of God and reach out to them and teach them the way that they should go. Another thing that I've learned, something really, really cool at Bethel Church, okay? This is another thing that is easy to give back. At Bethel Church, they set up every single service. Like, they don't have chairs, they don't have music, they don't have anything set up. They've got an empty room. And every Sunday, they set up, like, you, and you. I mean, how amazing is that? We don't have to do that here. But what more can we do here? And healing is another aspect of this. It's just amazing. I myself, I'm nobody. And I'm telling you, even the smallest thing, I prayed for Jean one day. She had a headache, and I'm telling you, that thing went away like that. Because he's given us that authority. He's given us all authority in the whole earth to do his will, to bring joy, to bring love, to be a light, because he is the light, and he lives within us. This is our duty. This is our calling. It's all of our calling. And we're here specifically just to spread his love and his light and his joy, and it's such a high calling. So are you healing the sick? Are you feeding the hungry? Are you blessing the poor and giving freely? Teaching and discipling. Everyone should have someone they're discipling. No matter how long you've been saved now, no matter how old you are, no matter how young you are, there's always somebody that you can touch. Are you forgiving without holding back? Are you speaking life into your brothers and sisters? Do you intensely love those who love you, but also those who hurt you? Have you laid down every part of you and died to yourself so that you might live more freely and abundantly in him?